8:45. This is a Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. Veteran senior journalist Mohan Samaranayaka appointed the new Director General of Government Information Department. This year's advanced level, ordinary level and grade 5 scholarship examinations postponed. April 12th declared a special government holiday. Railway strike temporarily called off. Additional transport services deployed for the Sinhala and Hindu New Year. SLFP appoints a committee to organize its May Day rally this year. Sri Lanka reports 112 new COVID infections. Britain's Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth II, dies at the age of 99. In news overseas, Kim Jong-un warns of North Korea crisis similar to deadly 90s famine. And in sports news, Indian legend Sachin Tendulkar leaves the hospital after a short treatment for coronavirus infection. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the local news. Veteran senior media journalist Mohan Samaranayaka has been appointed as the new Director General of the Government Information Department. Earlier to this appointment, he was serving as the Director General of the President's Media Division. With 4 decades of experience in the field of journalism, Samaranayaka served as the Assistant Editor of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation and held the position of News Director of the Sri Lanka Rupawahini Corporation for nearly 5 years. He later served as the head of the United Nations Information Centre in Colombo and for a long time served as the chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupawahini Corporation. GC Advanced Level Examination for the year 2021, which was scheduled for August, has been postponed to October, says the Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Peris. Accordingly, the examination is set to take place between the 4th and the 30th of October. The Grade 5 Scholarship Examination was meanwhile put off to the 3rd of October, the Education Minister further said. Further, the GC Ordinary Level Examination has been pushed to the final week of January 2022. The announcement was made during a press briefing held at the Education Ministry today. The 12th of April, Monday, has been declared as a special government holiday, says the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration. The decision was taken in view of the upcoming Sinhala and Hindu New Year. The strike action launched by the railway locomotive engineers and guards over several demands has been called off temporarily pending discussions with the minister this evening. All trains scheduled to depart from Colombo Fort were cancelled due to the strike action launched by the railway locomotive engineers and guards. The trade union action is based on several demands, including the appointment of a general manager for railways, the provision of facilities for designing new carriages, the carrying out of repairs by the railways department, and the suspension of importation of defective carriages from India. Secretary of the Locomotive Engineers Operations Union, Indika Dodangoda, stressed that their trade union action will continue until their demands are met. 21 trade unions are expected to join the trade action, Dodangoda further said. He noted that the authorities must take the responsibility for providing facilities to the people who are preparing to visit their hometowns for the Sinhala and Hindu New Year. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Digital accounts can now be opened in 10 minutes. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
And we continue with more local news. State Minister Dayasri Jayasekara categorically rejects rumours of banning import of clothes. However, State Minister said the import of batik clothes are banned with the sole objective of promoting local batik industry. The minister also said that there are about 11,000 batik garment producers in the country. A special training program will be arranged to these batik manufacturers in the near future at district level, the minister added. The National Audit Department says around 270,000 metric tons of vegetables and fruits varieties are wasted annually. Accordingly to the survey conducted in 2015, around 20 billion rupees is lost on this waste. As a result, 30 to 40% damage is incurred in the yield of local vegetables and fruits. The department has presented its observations and recommendations on the possible remedial actions to the Agriculture Ministry in this regard. Sri Lanka Freedom Party has appointed a committee to organize its May Day rally this year. SLFP has appointed State Minister Dumida Disanayake as the chairman of this committee. The executive committee of the party has made these appointments. A total of 112 more persons were tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka today, as confirmed cases count reaches 94,448. Meanwhile, the recoveries count recorded in the country is currently at 91,272. According to the statistics, 2,583 active cases are still under medical care at designated hospitals and treatment centres. Sri Lanka has also witnessed 593 fatalities due to the outbreak of the pandemic. Britain's Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth II, has died at the age of 99, Buckingham Palace has announced. A statement from the Buckingham Palace said, "It is with deep sorrow that Her Majesty the Queen has announced the death of her beloved husband, His Royal Highness the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Her Royal Highness passed away peacefully this morning at Windsor Castle." The Prince married Princess Elizabeth in the year 1947, 5 years before she became the Queen, and was a longest-serving royal consort in British history. In March, the Duke of Edinburgh left hospital after a 1-month-long stay for treatment. He underwent a procedure for pre-existing heart condition at another London hospital at St. Bartholomew's. Prince Philip and Queen had 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 10 great-grandchildren. Their first son, Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, was born in the year 1948, followed by his sister, the Princess Royal, Princess Anne in the year 1950, the Duke of York, Prince Andrew in the year 1960, and the Earl of Wessex, Prince Edward in the year 1964. Prince Philip was born on the Greek island of Corfu on the 10th of June 1921. His father was Prince Andrew of Greece and Denmark, the younger son of King George I of Hellenes. His mother, Princess Alice, was the daughter of Lord Louis Mountbatten and the great-granddaughter of Queen Victoria. Western Provincial Road Passenger Transport Authority Chairman Prasanna Sanjeeva said the special public transport services would be implemented with the support of the Railways Department, Sri Lanka Transport Board and the Transport Commission for the benefit of the people travelling to rural areas for the upcoming Sinhala and Hindu New Year. He added that steps would be taken to deploy buses based on the requirement. The SLTB stated that it has deployed an additional 200 buses for people to travel to villages for the holidays. The Railways Department stated that 21 special trains have been deployed for both short distance and long distance journeys. They will be in operation from today to the 16th of this month. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. Veteran senior journalist Mohan Samaranayaka appointed the new Director General of Government Information Department. This year's advanced level, ordinary level and grade 5 scholarship examinations postponed. April 12th declared a special government holiday. Railway strike temporarily called off. Additional transport services deployed for Sinhala and Hindu New Year. SLFP appoints a committee to organize its May Day rally this year. Sri Lanka reports 112 new COVID-19 infections. Britain's Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth II, dies at the age of 99. And that was the local news.
Debit card, mobile and internet banking along with cardless cash facilities can now be opened in just 10 minutes with no form filling with People's Bank Digital Banking.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The main news story for tonight, veteran senior media journalist Mohan Samaranayaka has been appointed as the new Director General of the Government Information Department. Earlier to this appointment, he was serving as the Director General of the President's Media Division. With 4 decades of experience in the field of journalism, Samaranayaka served as the Assistant Editor of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation and held the position of News Editor of the Sri Lanka Rupawahini Corporation for nearly 5 years. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And in Watchlight tonight, the consumers complain about the sudden price hikes in certain essential commodities at some mega sales outlets. It is learned that some errant traders are increasing the prices of essential goods, citing various reasons. This has caused immense difficulties to the low-income families. This is for the attention of the Consumer Affairs Authority. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season. People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news. Kim Jong-un warns of North Korea crisis similar to deadly 90s famine. North Ireland riots, police say 19 officers injured in the latest night of violence. Lost golden city found in Egypt reveals lives of ancient pharaohs. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has told citizens to prepare for hard times ahead following warnings from rights groups that the country faces dire food shortages and economic instability. Speaking at a party conference, Mr. Kim appeared to compare the situation to the devastating 1990s famine, which would have estimated to have killed hundreds of thousands. North Korea has shut its borders due to the coronavirus pandemic. The trade with China, its economic lifeline, has come to a standstill. 19 officers were injured on Thursday night, bringing the number hurt in a week of violence across Northern Ireland to 74. Police deployed water cannon for the first time in 6 years after coming under attack again in Belfast. Crowds rioted on both sides of the gates that separated a loyalist area and the nationalist area with Belfast. A discovery of 3,000-year-old city that was lost to sands of Egypt has been hailed as one of the most important archaeological finds since Tutankhamun's tomb. Famed Egyptologist Zahi Hawass announced the discovery of the lost golden city near Luxor yesterday. He said the find was the largest ancient city known as Aten ever uncovered in Egypt. It was unearthed within weeks of the excavation starting in September 2020. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. Kim Jong-un warns of North Korea crisis similar to deadly 90s famine. Northern Ireland riots, police say 19 officers injured in latest night of violence. Lost golden city found in Egypt reveals lives of ancient pharaohs. And that was the world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season. People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by CIB Nivea offer valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
And in development news, NDB Investment Bank Limited, in collaboration with National Development Bank PLC, conducted a knowledge sharing session recently providing a holistic view on alternate sources of funding. The forum focused on assisting local businesses, including small and medium-scale enterprises and entrepreneurs, to navigate and financially transform their businesses towards the next phase of growth through such funding. The forum, which was hosted in a hybrid form with participants attending physically as well as virtually, was received with much interest, over 400 participants in total. And that came to you in the segment of Development News.
Development News was brought to you by CIB Nivea offer valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
Moving on to sports news, in cricket, Indian legend Sachin Tendulkar has been released from hospital a week after he was admitted having contracted COVID-19. Tendulkar, aged 47, said on 27th March that he had tested positive and was taken to a Mumbai hospital 6 days later as a matter of abundant precaution. The former batsman says that he has returned home and will remain in isolation while continuing to rest and recuperate. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
In Business news, Google Indoors map was launched at Colombo's Bandaranaike International Airport today, becoming the first Indo facility to enable this feature in Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan Airlines and Airport and Aviation Services Sri Lanka Private Limited teamed up in a remarkable joint project that resulted in BIA becoming the first venue in Sri Lanka to be enabled on Google Indo Maps, accessible on smartphones and tabs on both Apple and Android devices. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Savings account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
And in economic news, the central bank continued its accommodative monetary policy stance, and accordingly, standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate of the central bank at their current level of 4.5% and 5.5% respectively. There have been monetary easing for a period of exceeding 2 years. The Central Bank Governor, Professor W.D. Lakshman, said the declining trend in the market lending rates must be continued. The dynamics of the global economy must also be considered in making these decisions. And Mr. Lakshman was speaking at the Central Bank head office yesterday. That is economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And finally, the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at several places over most parts of the island in the evening or night. Heavy falls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Uva, Sabarkamua, Central, Southern, Western and North Central provinces. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the Central, Sabarkamua and Western provinces during the morning hours. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. And that was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. Veteran senior journalist Mohan Sabaranaika appointed the new Director General of Government Information Department. This year's advanced level, ordinary level and grade 5 scholarship examinations postponed. April 12th declared a special government holiday. Railway strike temporarily called off. Additional transport services deployed for Sinhala and Hindu New Year. SLFP has appointed a committee to organize its May Day rally this year. Sri Lanka reports 112 new COVID infections. Britain's Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth II, dies at the age 99. News overseas, Kim Jong-un warns of North Korea crisis similar to deadly 90s famine. And in sports news, Indian legend Sachin Tendulkar leaves hospital after a short treatment for coronavirus infection. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news.